Hello there, my draconians, and how are we doing? It is Josh here, bit of everything RS, Draco Arata, and I'm here to bring a couple of updates on where I am with Runescape at the moment, and more importantly, and the topic of this video, what Jagex needs to do to make me happy. And I'm not sure how better to describe that because um, what I think RuneScape needs is very different from what I'd say the majority of people feel RuneScape needs. So maybe this is a bit of a selfish video in some ways, but bear with me. We'll see how far we get with it. Um, if you're watching the video of this video, I am currently training range at Water Fiends with my Royal Crossbow because I'm really poor, and that's mostly to get Crimson Charms because I'm kind of close to stockpiling enough charms for 200 mil Slayer via double XP weekend, and I'll have a decent chunk of money by the time double XP weekend rolls around, I think. But moving into it, yeah, you don't have to watch the video. I'm just gonna be killing water fiends while I talk. Live commentary as ever. But yeah, so RuneScape 2014. This has been a very, very bad start to the year in terms of content for RuneScape. Like, I don't know if there's ever been a year as bad as this one. In just terms of release content, what the hell are you doing, Jagex? And I know what they're doing. They're appeasing players who, more or less, they've won over already with very, very stupid initiatives, like this legacy combat mode, which is pretty much taken a huge chunk of their attention for the entire year, as it's going to be a very long time before it comes out, and they got to constantly tweak it as they go. So, dear God, what a stupid project to bring out. And I've made it no secret how I feel about Legacy. Really, I've made it no secret how I feel about any additions to AFK combat in Evolution of Combat. It's stupid. It's short-sighted. It won't bring many people back, and I've talked about all this before, but my big problem with it, besides all those things about delegitimizing actual effort put into RuneScape and all of that stuff, is the fact that they've put so much focus on bringing back the old game, they're not giving us any of the new game. This kind of tipped it when they brought out these old combat suit things, and it annoyed me at first, but I didn't really think too much about it. But they brought back the look of bronze to rune armor from like 2007, 2008, and people are putting it on, and it looks like absolute shit. It was optimized for computers, for low-range computers in 2005 to 2007. This is very, 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 very out of date work, which doesn't belong in an MMO in 2014. And I'm kind of annoyed that I'm seeing the people who constantly bitched about wanting to see all of these stupid armor sets coming back. They're complaining that Bandos armor looks kind of gay. And all I can say is, what did you expect? Gear that's 7, maybe 6.5 years old, and you're thinking it's gonna look amazing in 2014? Yeah. And people will say it's not completely how it looked back then, but come on. What other game brings back gear that brings back the look of gear from 7 years ago. Why why do people want this stuff? Why can't we just move forward a little? And RuneScape's problem is we don't seem to want to move forward. Um, Old school, fine. That's a great way for those people to all congregate in one place. This is the ideal. Everyone wanted it. This is old school. This is everything and more of what people were requesting. But why does it have to be in the main game? And I remember for a very long time, Jagex was defending their moves to modernizing or at least changing up RuneScape a bit with evolution of combat and everything, saying we need to keep on moving forward to keep people interested and to remain fresh as a product. But people don't seem to want that. And the content on this game is suffering incredibly bad because of it. And you know, is pay to win somewhat responsible? Maybe. I think it is in that, and you know, this isn't a very informed opinion, this part at least, but I think that by making so many outfits and so many emotes buyable on the Solomon store has de-incentivized Jagex from creating new content to fit these things. The lack of cosmetic reward from in-game achievement now is kind of ridiculous compared to what it's always been like. To get the most badass armor on like the grander scale, more often than not, you're kind of having to spend real life money, or at least bonds, to buy these separate things that don't exist in the game. That's really, really bad, and of course that's not really a problem for me because I love my dragon armor. But why can't they put some gear in the game? Is it so hard to ask that we actually get some of these things through in-game achievement? And that's the same with this stupid wealth checker thing, which doesn't even work anyway, so it's not too big of a problem. But why couldn't we have earned that in-game somehow? It would have been far better if maybe we had to give 10 million GP to the banker in order to access it. At least that creates some kind of small prestige to having it. It's not just something that anyone can just buy on the first day of their account being created. It's very frustrating, and you know, a lot of skills, they suffer from neglect in this game because Jagex just doesn't want to really touch it. And when they do, unfortunately, it's becoming pay to win motivated, like in those Silverhawk boots for agility. It's one of the biggest updates agility has gotten for a long time in this game, and all it was a pay to win thing. So I can't believe that was what agility got. Like, why? Why can't you just update these skills a bit? I know you've got to make your profits, Jagex, but the long-term health of the game involves you updating your stuff. You don't just leave it to dry for as long as possible. Like, what, rune crafting or runespan hasn't really got a proper update since runespan came out, which, believe it or not, has been over a year now. It's been quite a long time since runespan came out, and that alone killed runecrafting. I really, really appreciate some kind of rework on runecrafting to maybe make ZMI runecrafting actually viable again. Make it the best XP in the game instead of a semi-AFK minigame. Why is that acceptable? Floor 61 of Dungeoneering It's been promised for years, hasn't come out. Dungeoneering is 4 years old now, guys. It's not that new skill. uh, like, what skill has gotten a huge amount of content consecutively? Construction, holy crap, construction has not been touched in years, or has not received any major updates in years. They've even been saying for several years that they're about to do a major overhaul of construction, but I believe it has. Its last graphics update was in 2009, and I don't want to make you guys realize how fast time is going, but it's 2014. You know, that's a very, very long time uh, for a game, especially an online game. A lot of stuff moves very quickly, and Jagex just isn't keeping up with content. And the annoying thing is, the majority of people seem to be okay with this. So am I the crazy one here? Uh, another instance with this is the lack of quests that are coming out for Runescape. Um, it used to be one a month, very consecutively, and there was very rarely a serious gap in between a quest coming out. But since before Wild Gothic Sleep came out, quests just have multiple months in between them, with like no explanation, or in other news posts they say, by the way, this quest wasn't ready, so we pushed it back a long time. This is really bad for your game, Jagex. Even if the majority of people don't exactly articulate this exact problem, the fact that there is a lack of new content consecutively coming out does hurt your bottom line and does hurt how people play this game. I'm not saying you need to half-ass content and get it out ASAP, but I am saying you need to seriously pick up your fucking game. And I know that's arrogant coming from me. I'm not massively productive in everything I do, and I'm not a game developer, and I don't necessarily know the complexities of how to run this amazing game that you've made, but I'm just saying there's a serious gap in content, and it really, really needs to be filled. And the way to fill it is not by making player polls on what to put in next, and then taking months and months and months and months to implement it. A very prime example of this is the inventor skill, which laughably Jagex said that they might be putting out at the end of 2013 if everything goes to plan. And then it was early 2014, and then it was the first half of 2014, and then the stupid Elf City or invention skill poll came out, and what do you know? People don't want another skill to work on, so we get the Elf City. Which, okay, the people have spoken, democracy, good job, that's kind of what you wanted, but you're gonna take until September to release the first part of it. How do you think you're gonna keep people interested in this game when that's how you do it? I mean, never mind the Elf City, which will not even be fully implemented in September, the 9th month of the year. What about the invention skill? Since all the focus is going to be on the Elf City quest and city making, what's going to happen with the invention skill? Is that getting pushed back even further? Are you even going to work on it at all until the Elf City is finished? Can we expect it mid-2015? What's going to happen when we get to 2015? Are you going to see something shiny and then just go and work on something stupid that people think they want but they're not going to use? I mean, really is a skill being added to RuneScape less important in the long run than a quest and a city being added into RuneScape? And my contention is that it's far more important to get a new skill in here. Uh, that wouldn't even be a problem if you hadn't promised it. If you hadn't said, and you didn't bill it as 2 new skills in a very short amount of time, look at how productive we're going to be. We're going to add so much new content to the game. If you didn't promote your game, if you didn't promote your future activities like that, then all of this would not be a problem, and I would just chalk it up to, maybe they're internally just working on something. But I have serious worries on the lack of content that you're putting out. That worries me. Besides that though, you have shown that you can put out small bits of content that are fairly entertaining, like that new quest that just came out. The name kind of escapes me at the moment, but that was a very, very enjoyable quest. It only took maybe 10-15 minutes max, but it was very to the point, it had a great atmosphere, and it was very, very, very entertaining. But it's too little and it's too late. Frankly, you need to work something out. I'm sorry if I'm being condescending when I know very little about the industry, but you need to put some serious allocation towards resources to do with creating new content. And new content is not adding costumes to the Solomon store or a new mining emote to the Solomon store. It's creating in-game content that we can access through achievement in the game. But this is 17 minutes long, so thank you very much for your attention until now, and I hope you got to the end of this, and my throat's kind of sore at the moment, so I'm sorry if I've made some weird noises. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.